and welcome to Make Some Noise. This is episode number 29, I believe, and I can't believe we've done that many episodes. My good friend Jeremy Edge, and Jeremy, I've interviewed you many times over the years. First time you appearing on Make Some Noise. Now I see that the latest single was for a song called Liars, and when I came across that, it looked like kind of, as music videos are, looked like a mini movie, but like it had credits and stuff, and I'm like, what is this? So you want to talk a little bit about the song and the video for it?
Sure. Yeah, the song is basically, this is kind of a new, I'm not saying it's a new direction, but it's something kind of newer. It's a little funkier than the stuff that we usually do.
Yeah.
The stuff we do is kind of dirgy 70s blues rock, stomping. This is kind of has a funkier feel. And I think that kind of stems from like the the starting point for the song was just like a riff that I had, which was like this.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, well, what would that sound like if we played that on John's Fender Rhodes? So just play the riff one time and then just kind of loop that riff loops throughout the song.
Oh,
And I
wow.
don't typically use loops, but for that it was pretty cool. And then I went back and of course record all the guitars, and from front to back, and the song has kind of more of a R&B feel to it. I've been listening to a lot of like Jamiroquai
Okay.
and stuff like that, and it just kind of has a little bit of that feel. But I mean, there's blues rock in there too.
Everything you do is really kind of really blues influenced. A lot of it is like from what you've done in the past is like kind of bluesy rock influence. Like probably my all-time favorite thing you ever did, I think, was the song Fire Dance, and that's kind of really
Yeah.
kind of a rocky kind of thing. But definitely what you're doing is kind of more blues oriented these days, um, and I kind of love it all. I mean, I'm assuming when you were growing up, that's what influenced you with blues, right?
Well, I think I grew up, on British invasion music, from Zeppelin to Sabbath, all that Deep Purple, like just the other day, I was listening. Somebody brought my attention, like I hadn't listened to years, like Jeff Beck's Truth album from '68, and like there's an article going around where Jeff was kind of astonished when he heard Zeppelin one. He was like, "Are you guys messing with me? Because you guys totally ripped off my record. Like this is my sound. You even did You Shook Me. We did. Me and Rod Stewart did You Shook Me, and then you did You Shook Me."
Wow,
And
wow.
it's kind of So I mean, back then those guys were kind of pulling from the blues guys, but they were also trying to make it their own thing.
And
So that's kind of
I
what I
urge
do.
people who don't know who Jeremy Edge is or the Jeremy Edge Project, check out their music because, like I said, I've been interviewing Jeremy for years, and one of his past bands, Candlelight Red, was much more kind of closer to metal. Um, and so you're a guy that can really kind of do it all. So if you listen to like the progression of Jeremy's career, that like I said, right now it's a little more blues oriented what he's doing these days, but he really is a talented guy that can really do it all.
So I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I still got love for heavy music. I grew up with Pantera too. I love Metallica, all that thrash stuff, and but when it came to modern metal stuff, it just felt like everything was starting to sound,
The
and
same.
still it sound the same. Also when I turn on that those radio stations, I go, new stuff's coming out, and I'm like, well, this still sounds like Breaking Benjamin, Five Finger Death Punch, Korn. It's kind of always sounds, it's the same riffs, it's the same melodies, and just growing up around a diverse amount of music, from blues to jazz to country to R&B, gospel, soul.
Yeah.
I tend to gravitate towards styles where we can kind of interweave those influences, and it all kind of still makes sense.
Yeah, I got the new Tesla album, which is this great covers
Oh,
record, and they cover everything. Tesla's great; they've done great. They put out great covers before and great original tunes. But this new covers album, what I love about it is they cover everything, like from Elvis Presley to The Temptations, Bob
yeah.
Seger,
Since the
James
first time
Brown.
I heard Tesla and saw them, I'm opening for them years ago in Berea, South Carolina, in the late '90s.
Wow.
It would be early '90s, early 2000s. I can't remember which, but it was like always felt like a kinship with them because I heard all those. I mean, there's a little bit of metal aspect to them, but there's a lot of those classic
Sure,
rock
sure. Yeah.
influences, blue-eyed soul, blues, just all that stuff in their music too. So that's kind of like, you know, yeah.
Roxy Rock, yeah.
I mean, the other band I always reference is like the band that changed everything for me was Badlands, you know.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, definitely.
obviously there's a lot of drama considering like some of the things that went on with Ray Gillen and his
Yeah,
death and a lot of controversy. But at the end of the day, that was those two records, actually even the third one,
yeah,
those to me represent an incredible rock blues offering in a time where it wasn't cool to do that.
yeah.
And I think those records stand up against the great records of the
Yeah,
70s.
Badlands is one of those bands, Jeremy, that like had huge potential. And for various reasons that you mentioned, I think Jay Lee was kind of smart to put it to rest, rather than try to carry on with a different singer.
You
But
ever seen that video where they literally broke up on stage?
yeah, yeah.
Like Ray was reading Jake's comments in a metal magazine. He's like, "Oh, did you see what Jake Lee said? This is one good guitar." And then they're like, they're trying to laugh it off. And they played that show and probably had it out backstage, just like, fuck it, we're done.
I mean, it's funny because
It's so sad.
coming up early in his career, Ray Gillen was in Black Sabbath, and he was briefly the frontman for Blue Murder before John Sykes took over the vocals. And the band he's remembered for is Badlands, instead of not so much those other two bands.
Well, I
Because
think rightfully so, because I've heard those records. I've heard the Black Sabbath versions with him instead of Tony Martin. And don't get me wrong, it's good, but I feel like Ray was able to excel when he could flex those R&B and blues, and even there's a song on Voodoo Highway where he's singing like it just sounds like Black Southern gospel, and
yeah,
he just crushes it. Yeah, and I was, whatever time when I heard that, I was just like, man, you can do that. Like a male singer can do that.
yeah.
That was just inspiring for me. So yeah, definitely one of the greats.
And another one of your recent singles, I think from about a year ago, but I loved is Austin Valley. Let's talk a little bit about that song.
So yeah, that song is it's interesting. So we played this place called the Austin Dam in PA, the Austin Dam Ruins, and they had a festival there where they were having bands come, and they were like, "Well, you could play some originals, but we like to play 5 songs from an artist and kind of be like a almost like a tribute. You don't have to be a tribute band, but learn." And so, I was like, "Well, if I could do anything I want, we're gonna learn 5 free tunes." So we
Okay.
played Mr. Big and Fire and Water and Walk in My Shadow. So, I was big into like a Paul Kossoff deep dive, and playing things like the Steeler, that you
Wow.
know.
Yeah.
So when we played there, so I didn't know the whole story that the ruins were a dam that failed in the late 1800s, I think it was, and crushed a whole town. All these people died. So it was just an amazing story. So I actually went home, picked
Mhm.
up the acoustic, and I'd be like, well, I'm not really into historical songs, but I think this could be a cool thing. And I just started playing this whole.
Yeah. It kind of reminds. It's a little different, but it kind of reminds me of in Los Angeles, where I'm from, when the Pacific Palisades all
Yeah.
burned down. It was because you can believe it, but there's no water in the fire hydrants.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why that happened. But crazier stuff has been known to happen.
Yeah,
Another,
I just felt like that, like it fit. Like this riff kind of, when it was electric, it's almost like it sounds like something Paul Kossoff would come out. But as like I'm playing it unplugged now, it almost sounds like
and I dig
it
the
almost
fact,
sounds like
Jeremy.
mountain music,
Yeah,
or something Celtic, and
yeah.
I think on the record I was gonna get like a 6 string banjo or something like that, but I ended up capoing at the 12th fret, and I did like
Oh, wow, wow.
and it just kind of made it. That's in there too, kind of give it more of that Celtic mountain music, you kind of sound that you
Oh,
you
wow,
know.
you're all over the place. Yeah, and I love the fact you mentioned those free songs. You didn't even mention probably the most famous free riff is, of course, All Right Now, but you're going from a deep cut. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then another one of the songs, videos I caught that I really loved was Ghost of the Living. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun song. And it was just a fun song because it's got like Zeppelin and Hendrixy type things going on,
Yeah.
and a
Okay.
very
Okay.
like we got some sad chords in there too, but we got some bright sounding chords. And it's sort of like half the songs are kind of like this bluesy thing, and half of it's kind of in this very summer mixolydian thing where it's like,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
you know, and it has that kind of the happy thing going on, and it's very somber too. So it was kind of like that song was kind of written by like I used to, you know, it seemed like in the house I was in for a long time. It was like Ghost Hunters from the Taps, Ghost
Oh,
Hunters,
yeah.
just
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
TV all the time. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, the TV's still on, and I hear somebody going like,
Yeah. Yeah.
"Is there
Yeah.
anyone who would like to make their presence known?"
Yeah.
Or "Is there anything that you would like to say?" So I just kind of like took that whole concept and say like, what about ghosts of not the dead people, but of living
Yeah. Yeah.
people, like people that you don't talk to anymore. You don't know if they moved away to California or people who have memories or who have strong attachments and things like that. Um, it was kind of born out of this whole idea of like people say it's harder to mourn the loss of someone who's still alive than someone's dead because you come to kind of a closure with death.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was kind of the concept. But I
Okay.
had a lot of people come up to me and tell me that that song resonated with them because of actual
Mm.
people they've lost that had died. So that's really cool. I like leaving things to interpretation, and
That's what
that's
it's
a
all
really
about.
fun.
And it seems like I would imagine as a songwriter, when people come up to you and tell you not only how much your songs mean to them, but they maybe have a different interpretation than what you actually wrote it about. That's got to be a great feeling too. Because like, well, I didn't write it about that, but if you got that out of it, great. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And then a lot of times things start out being about something like a few lines will be about something personal. And I tend to not make it personal. I'll tend to morph it into something that's more of like a story or like a movie that I have playing in my head
Yeah.
and try to turn it into that. And that way it becomes something that's more relatable to a wider amount of people and say like, no, this was exactly about the time. Usually it's not. It's about a combination of things and just
Wow.
seeing how that weave that
Yeah,
into a
yeah, and
story.
I think why your songs are so appealing is a lot of the music videos that you make for the songs are like big production, like something you would have seen on MTV back in the day. And I was just kind of curious, how involved are you with the come up with the concepts and stuff for the music videos? Because it would appear that you're very involved, and I think
Sometimes very involved. I for my own stuff, I tend to do the lyric videos, and also for my own singles, there's a local cinematography in town, Lee Fenstermacher. I'll give him a shout out. He's like, as far as I'm concerned, like the best regional filmmaker, and I like the way he presents things visually and the way he tells the story. And I've been into photography and videography and things like that for like 25 years, and I recently got back into it. Probably
yeah,
partly because of the enthusiasm of working on these projects. But my projects I'm working on, we could get into that, are a little bit different. I don't really do like the live band stuff or performance
no,
stuff
but
so much.
most of your music videos when I watch them, they appear to be like, I guess that's what they are, mini movies, great like kind of
Yeah, I mean, it'll
storytelling.
start with
Yeah,
sometimes I'll come up with like a rough concept and give it to him, and he'll just like run with it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's really cool.
I
And
think I think that's why a lot of your songs are getting, the views and that they are, larger part because the music video that goes along with the song. Where if you were just like some artists just simply post the song, as good of a song it may be, it may not get as many views because just visually, it's like eye candy, if you know what I mean.
yeah, definitely. And what I've been, kind of into for a long time is like, growing up with MTV, it's like every once in a while you saw a music video that wasn't cheesy. You're like, wow, that was really great. And it just growing up with cinema in general, I like to look at things that are very, like a movie or something that tells a story. And that's kind of what I go for, what I go after.
Okay, yeah,
And
you.
I mean, we started doing, I'm sorry,
Oh,
delay.
no, go ahead. You were just telling me that you started doing the music videos. Anyways, just the I love your music video. That's the point we were making now. Before we went on there today, Jeremy, you were telling me that you wanted to talk a little bit about your studio where you record everything, or that you're working at these days.
We started kind of morphing towards recording more and more stuff. Um, on my own. It's just kind of like budget and time wise. Sometimes it starts to make more sense because if you got to drive all the way like 4 hours to the studio and then you have limited time and then you have to wait till you can go back. I started recording, like I recorded a lot of Saints and Souls like in my bedroom,
Okay.
and also in other locations too. So that was kind of a hybrid. But when I bought this place, this is a 100+ year old church. It had already been converted residential, and it was like this is the perfect space for recording and whatever. So moved into here, like moved in an actual console. It took 5 people to move it,
Oh
and
wow, wow, that heavy load. Yeah.
so so we kind of got to do a little something different there, and it got me into, like with Saints and Souls, I used like real amps, but cabinet simulators,
Okay.
and then when I got in here and put like a guitar cabinet in this room, put a mic in front of it and a room mic and just pulled up the fader with no EQ or anything, I'm just like, oh, that's it. And then the next day, my 2 notes torpedo Captor X was on eBay for sale.
Yeah.
So it was just very cool. It's cool because we can cut vocals in the control room, or I could come out here and get some ambience. There's a
Wow.
piano there,
Wow. Yeah.
It's just cool. I have a room downstairs where you can get loud. We can record drums and whole bands, and we even recorded a whole bluegrass in this room when we did that like 80% live, like live with overdubs kind of thing.
Oh wow.
Um, so yeah, that's been a lot of fun, and we started adding video as a process because like I said, I was already involved a lot in video, and I just picked up a couple like hybrid stills cameras, and that wasn't really working for me. It just wasn't my jam.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I had worked with a guy named Raul Gonzal with Candlelight Red on
Okay.
a couple of videos. Like She's Got the Look and Demons, and he would always bring out his red cameras, and I was
Okay.
just look at the monitor and just go, oh my god, these things are magic. Like, how much are they? And they're like, at the time it was 2012. I was like, oh, $50,000, $70,000. I'm like, oh, I'll
Wow.
never.
Wow. Yeah.
Now fast forward, now you can pick them up for like a couple grand,
Oh wow.
and so I have two. I have two of them.
That's pretty
So I
exciting.
started doing a lot of stuff with like acoustic performances and collaborations. Like we did some of the Blue X-Ray, and I've also done like some local commercials and things like that, and done some actual music videos. But
All right.
they have I guess you could say I have like a different sort of flavor that I do for my own stuff,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I've had a lot of people ask me, it's like, why aren't you doing your own music videos? And I'm like, well, then like my stuff will look exactly like the stuff I'm doing for other people, and that won't give you. So I kind of, when it comes to my own stuff, I still kind of prefer to go to another cinematographer and be like, hey, I want your vision on this. I want your take
Okay.
on
Okay.
this.
Makes sense. Can't do it all, but
'Cause
um, yeah,
if
I know you
I
had in
do
the
everything,
yeah,
everything's
yeah, yeah. I know you have
very
in the
one
past you
dimensional.
featured like special guests like Derek Sherinian's played on some of your stuff in the. But do you play piano yourself or?
Not very well. I have a piano. I can bang. I can figure out notes or a pattern, but I can't just like sit down like, hey,
That's
let me
why.
play "Well, Home Sweet
Yeah,
Home" for you. I'm
that's why
not.
you. That's why you get a guy like Derek, right? Professional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we've had Charlie Cav playing live for us for years. When we can pull him away from Angel, we borrow him, and then we have some other guys we work with too. Our bassist John plays a lot of keyboards. He plays a lot of keyboards on the records. But yeah, we were able to get some great guest performances from Derek Sherinian. There was a guy named Jeremy Baum played on the first album. We had Josh Smith, who's now in Joe Bonamassa' band, played a little bit on the first
Wow.
album. And then, I also had a local guy named Wesley Sickler who actually plays guitar and sings for like some local metal stuff.
Okay.
And he's a classically trained pianist too. So he played all the piano on the Black Sheep. And you can see, and he had never played the style before. I said, well, listen to some Leonard Skinner, listen to some Scott Joplin, and just some old classic, old time regular, saloon style piano. And he just nailed it. He just like ripped.
Wow,
He's like,
that's
he's
great.
just like
That's great.
ripping, like, it sounds like and he just killed it, and I'm just like flabbergasted. So I mean, hopefully we get to work with him too. But
So, Jeremy, of course, Liars is the latest single and video, but are you still signed to Deco? Speaking of Charlie, and I was curious, are you working towards the next Jeremy Edge CD?
we are, but we're slowly working towards it. I mean, basically we kind of use them for distribution.
Uh,
We don't really have like we
Set
don't do
deal.
like
Yeah,
we don't do like I mean, there's just no more record companies anymore.
yeah.
I mean, if they are, they're
Well,
signing.
I bring it up because I love Deco. They're a great label. They've got everything from classic rock, as you know, to Tiffany, and as well as some just new acts they've signed. I just love the fact that they're one label that continues to put out physical product for people that want it.
I think that the way Deco shines is they let their artists kind of do their thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and then they just do the heavy lifting of getting the vinyls out there and getting the product out there, and letting the music speak. And I think that's a testament to the success. And it's also, a very, witness to how relevant vinyl still is.
Yeah.
And it's been great for us. Vinyl has been great for us. We haven't done the Black Sheep on vinyl. We kind of skipped that and started working on a new record, and then I kind of slowed that down. And I think part of that slowdown, like I have a couple songs already in the bag, and I have a whole record written. It's just kind of I've been working on other people's projects,
There you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
That'll
it,
make
but
a
it's
living.
a really cool thing because you kind of get bored working on your own stuff, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of a shame to like have all this space and all this gear and just use it for one project when you can make so many other things happen. So I think that's been a lot of fun, but we're gonna keep coming back and keep getting this done. I mean, I have two other singles that should be released very soon,
Yeah.
and hopefully not too long after that, we'll be looking at I should say a fifth album. So
That'd be great. On this show, Make Some Noise, as we like to do. We believe every artist has a story to tell, and you just really kind of told part of your story today. But I really encourage people that aren't aware of Jeremy Edge of the Jeremy Edge Project, check out his music because I think what a lot of people Jeremy will enjoy about, like I do, is you're one of these guys. You're a triple threat in the sense you're a singer, songwriter, guitar player. Whereas a lot of guys, they write the songs and maybe have somebody else come in and do the vocals. So my question to you, were you always naturally a vocalist, or is that something you had to work at?
no, I was never. I think all the bands I was in, I never spent much time in it, and I've always been kind of soft spoken. So I would, say, well, let's try to have Jeremy sing, and I really wasn't getting it, and I just kind of gave up on it. But I'd say about a decade ago, I started trying to really focus on learning, and I really didn't understand. If you're not someone who's born, I'm not gonna say born with it, but uses your voice a lot in your younger years, you're not really familiar with how to control it, and so you have to
I mean,
almost
who knows?
relearn to
Maybe
control.
maybe you just don't have a voice for doing like metal type of songs, but maybe this music fits you better. And I do
I mean,
think,
I think it does, and I think a lot of it has to do with my ears. Like I never could do those songs that were very like screamy, or the
yeah,
ones that the rock stuff that has those really regimented melodies that the guy's singing like something like
yeah, yeah. And I think because you're, yeah, yeah,
all this. I'm more of like I grew up listening to all that classic rock, all that
yeah,
blues, and just stuff like from like Little Richard, Tina Turner, Otis Redding,
yeah,
Sam
yeah.
and Dave, you know, and so much of that is like embedded in my brain. It's weird. I always get so self conscious sometimes. I'm like, is
But
this like
I think it's
is
a
this
guy
like
that listens.
culture appropriation?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm writing that fine line, but at the end of the day, it's just like, look, I think these are the who are I think are the finest singers in the world, and I think my natural ear is to try to mimic the vowels and the runs and the things, the tonalities that they do, because I felt like they were, the best of what they did, and there's the
Yeah, yeah.
most that connects really emotionally with people. So that's where I gravitate to. I'm not nearly as good as any of those guys, but I
Hmm.
think once I started pushing in that direction, my voice opened up because things felt natural and they didn't feel forced.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think because the music you're making now is more blues based, like at the end of the day, a good song is a good song. So whoever's singing it, it's going to be a good song. But I do think because you're a writer and you're a guy singing the words that you wrote, um, it comes out more coming across as more heartfelt. Whereas if you had another guy come in and sing your words, he probably could do a super job, but it's going to be a completely different song, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I actually experienced that with the first album. Like the first album, you probably heard that's
Yeah.
some of me, and then I also had Brandon from Crowbot sing, and I had Brett Hessler from Dark New Day, Virgos Malo, come in and sing some songs, and they did a fantastic job. But everybody gravitated towards the songs I sang, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense because these guys are better singers than I am. But I think at the end of the day, I think maybe the songs that I sang on there just connected more because it was more like is my songs, my story, and you know, just me telling it just lands a little bit different, even though, those guys were just killing it. And still to this day, most of those songs that they sang, like, I'm like, if I try to sing them, I'm like, nope, it's not
Yeah,
happening.
yeah, yeah. Now, and you're another guy, Jeremy. Besides pushing your own stuff, you're always like recommending, "Hey, check this out." I went on your Facebook page. I want to ask you, is this something you're involved with, or are you just telling people, "Hey, check out these guys"? You're talking about this band, the Sullivan
Sylvan Del Struggle.
Del Stragglers. Talk a little bit about that. Are you involved with that?
Well, yeah, they came in and we did a 4-song EP with them, and we had a very revolutionary idea. I said, well, let's shoot 4 music videos. And we just basically shot their live performance in here. And then, we added a couple things to make each one a little bit distinctively different. And
Mhm.
so I think they just released their second one. And that
Okay.
was fun for me because I'd never worked with or recorded a bluegrass band before. So I
Oh,
learned
wow.
some very
Bluegrass.
important things like mandolins are a lot quieter than other instruments. So I really needed to take, you really got to get something close to mic that up.
Yeah, wow, wow, wow.
But
And,
it was neat because it was something totally different for me and completely
oh, that's
outside my
cool. That's cool.
wheelhouse. But
And then
uh,
I see you're also involved with something called Temple of Sound.
yeah, so that is basically this place here. This is
Oh, studio. Okay.
so basically everything we do from my stuff to every people's stuff, where it's audio or has some
I love
video.
that temple. That's such a great name for that for what you do. Um, and then you had a also a video like a country western artist. I think her name is Samantha Grace. How do you know
Definitely.
her?
Yeah, actually, my manager Steve Hill introduced us and suggested that we collaborate on some things, and we did. We collaborated on 2 songs, and one of them is released, and that was like a cover suggested we do of Hardy. We did one of those, and then we did. I just finished a music video for her single too,
Oh wow.
which is called "Called to Serve," which is about her husband's. Her husband was deployed, and then he came back home, but it was kind of like about that time period when her husband was deployed overseas and the things that she went through. So we made a really cool video for that. And then we have once I get it done, we did a collaboration on covering my song "Sunrise,"
Oh wow.
with vocals and harmonies there as an acoustic, and we'll put that out very soon, I think.
Wow, wow. Well, Jeremy, it's been great catching up with you as usual. Thanks for coming on the show, and we're going to definitely have you back because you're always putting out great new music, and it really doesn't matter. Like I was just thinking, I wonder what Jeremy's doing, and whenever I check out your page, you always got something new up. So I dig that about you. You're always constantly working.
Yeah, I try to stay busy and try to keep from getting bored.
Yeah. So do you get a chance to play live much?
Oh yeah, I mean, I usually do it in spurts. Like we did a bunch of shows in the spring, and then our drummer went to Europe for about a month, and then we're about to do some shows. We booked in the fall, and we're booking some more. So we're probably doing the run in the fall, and then we'll probably chill out in the winter a little bit. But yeah, usually in spurts is
Yeah.
where I like to do it, and instead of
Jeremy, before I
booking
let
one
you,
week in a month,
yeah, yeah.
go
Before I
ahead.
let you go, Jeremy, the other thing I want to ask you, have you ever thought about a lot of bands and musicians do this these days, and I think it's a fun thing. I mean, Stryper just put out a fantastic Christmas album last year. Have you ever thought about a Jeremy Edge Christmas album?
I don't know. It's funny. It's sometimes I go like, I don't know, that's really me. But there's some things like Billy Squier did that Christmas song that was pretty
Yeah,
incredible, and I still think I must be because like the Eagles was my dad's favorite band, and that Please Come Home for Christmas I still think is like one of the best of all time.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's yeah, but I think it's like I'm always working on so much original music. It's almost like you got to start working on it in the summer to have it ready by Christmas.
Yeah.
So by the time I start thinking about a Christmas album would be cool, it's like too late to go and do it and get it done in time.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of interesting, and I didn't realize like until the Stryper CD came out, and I was listening to it. My favorite track that they covered on that was a song called "Take It to the Mountain." I've heard the song before, but I researched the song. Come to find out, the song itself, I could not believe this, was like 300 years, dates back to 300 years old, and it was originally a gospel song, if you can believe that, and then it became this song that was just played throughout churches throughout the.
That's so, well, so many are popular songs like people
Yeah,
don't realize were started out as
yeah,
like When the Levee Breaks.
yeah.
That was I think that was Blind Willie Johnson.
Oh wow, wow. See, yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
yes, so things like Spirit in the Sky. I mean, that's definitely like a throwback to the old gospel blues stuff.
There you go. There you go. See, you're really rooted in music. As I said, Jeremy, this episode 29. Thanks for being a part of this show today. And we'll definitely have you back. And this is going to go up in early August. I'll send you the link once it premieres. Anything else you want to say to folks before we say goodbye?
Just keep an eye on our on the Jeremy Edge YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, the socials, and try to keep everybody up to date on what we're doing. I don't always have time to do like the post every day thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, at least every week, I have a little bit of an update. So if you guys keep checking in, and eventually we'll do something cool that you like, I think.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee that. Like it's probably been about 6 months since I've been on your page, and yeah, you've got something new up there that I wasn't aware of. Yeah. So take care,
Awesome. Yeah,
Jeremy.
I appreciate you having me on so much, and appreciate you supporting music the way you do.
Oh,
And
that's what we're about, and especially nice guys like you that we really believe in your music. We want to do what we can to spread the word. That's what this is all about. So thanks for coming on. You're welcome here anytime, of course. Okay.
sounds awesome. Thanks, Jason.
Hey, bye bye.
Take care.